Ariam Tat Sat. Welcome to this short yoga asana sequence designed to demonstrate that you don't necessarily need to be flexible in order to practice yoga asana. It's also designed to give you a base, a foundation for your yoga practice to help to release tension and tightness through the body. Let's begin from a comfortable seated position. You can be seated cross-legged as Ram is doing here, or you may like to sit with the legs stretched out in front, with the hands resting behind the buttocks. You're welcome to sit on a cushion or a folded blanket. It will help to create length through the spine. Coming into your chosen position. The eyes are gently closed. Bringing your hands resting on the knee or in the lap. Scanning through the body from the crown of the head down through the trunk, the legs down to the toes. Noticing any areas of tightness or tension. Feeling the weight of the body against the floor. The position of the pelvis. Being aware of the spine, tall and straight. Head and neck centrally positioned on the shoulders. Consciously softening through the face and the jaw. And connecting with the breath. Observing the breath naturally flowing in and out of the body. Just notice how the breath is flowing. Is any areas where your breath is flowing deeply? If it's shallow, if it's fast or slow. And on the next exhalation, bring the chin down towards the chest. And as you inhale, raise the chin up towards the sky. Exhale, the chin comes down towards the chest. And on the inhalation, the chin looks up towards the sky. Remember to practice within your range of movement. So if you are feeling any tension in the neck, observe this, notice. 2 more rounds in this way. And then come back to a center position. The next time that you need to exhale, bring the left ear towards the left shoulder. Inhale, come back to center, and then exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Continuing with this movement up to another 4 rounds. Moving with the breath. And on completion of this final round, come back to central position. On the next inhalation, take the gaze over towards the left. Coming round the back of the neck, round towards the right, coming back to center. So you're moving into a full neck rotation. Again, be aware of any tightness, any tension through the shoulders, through the neck. When you've completed up to 4 rounds on one direction, then change the direction. Being aware of the tiny muscles, the ligaments around the neck, the shoulders. Take a moment to notice the effects from the practice. And then bring the fingertips to the shoulders. Bring the elbows towards each other at the front of the body. Lower the elbows down and away towards the waist. Come through into a shoulder rotation. Again, practice up to 7 rounds. Bringing the breath into the movement. So 1 breath is 1 rotation. The exhalation, the elbows move down. As you inhale, the elbows come up towards the ears. Changing the direction. Feeling the openness through the chest. Shoulder blades coming together towards the back of the body. A wonderful practice for first thing in the morning, upon awakening. Observing the effects. And then from this position, coming down onto the mat. Have the knees bent. Bring the hands around the back of the head, interlock the fingers around the neck. Have the feet just slightly apart. You can be hip width apart or have them together. And on the exhalation, you bring the knees down towards the left side and take the gaze towards the right. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale over towards the opposite side. So continuing with this movement. Up to another 4 rounds on either side. So this is a spinal twist. You're also massaging into the digestive system. Another great practice for the morning. Consciously moving with the breath. And then on completion, release the arm. Keep the knees bent. As you inhale, you will raise your arms over the head and separate the knees away from each other. Soles of the feet come together. Releasing, coming back down with the exhalation. Knees come back together, arms come down towards the floor. Continuing with this starfish movement. Opening up through the chest. Moving with the breath. Inhale, the arms raise up, the knees fall to the sides. The exhalation, the arms come back down, knees come back together. Two more rounds. And on the final round, you can hold the final position for up to 4 breaths. And then release on the exhalation, the arms come back down, hug the knees into the chest to release through the lower back if you feel the need to. And then straighten the legs out along the floor, coming into a Shavasana position. Take this moment to once again connect with the breath, observing the effects from the practice. Now move into another practice called cycling. So the first stage of the practice, you can have the leg either stretched along the floor or have the leg bent to begin with. So let's start with the leg bent and then moving the right leg as if you were riding a bicycle. Keep the movement conscious. If you'd like to go a little bit stronger, then you can straighten out that bent leg. And then repeating on the opposite side. So the leg raises up towards the ceiling, the leg lowers down, knee comes into the chest, straighten the leg up. Once again, just notice any effects from the practice, how the breath is flowing, whether there's heat that's being generated in the body. Now bring the hands just resting by the buttocks. You can actually have them just slightly tucked under. That will give extra support through the lower spine. And then bring the knees in towards the chest. And with both legs, you can imagine that you are riding a bicycle. So if this is too strong, then revert back to the previous practice. And when you've done about 8 rounds in one direction, then change the direction. And do the same on the opposite side. So on completion, release the arms, release the legs back down towards the floor. Connect once more with the body against the floor. Feel the effects from the practice in the area of the abdomen. And then from this position, come onto your hands and your knees. For Majari Asana, the cat-cow pose. So the arms are underneath the shoulders, the knees are underneath the hips. On the inhalation, the chin raises up, simultaneously with the tailbone. And on the exhalation, the chin tucks in, the tailbone tucks under. Continuing with this movement. The awareness is of the movement through the spine. It's nice sometimes in the mornings to really feel into this movement and be a little bit playful with the cats. So you can push deeper through the hands. It'll give you a deeper stretch across the shoulder blades. You may like to move the body from side to side, front to back. It's a really nice movement to tune into what the body needs. And after the next round, then tuck the toes under. You can come up into a downward facing dog. For anybody with high blood pressure, then you can come into child's pose and then come to a standing position. But now walk the feet towards the hands, hands towards the feet. And then slowly coming up into a standing position. Leaning back. Hands come by via prayer. And then in your standing position, come into the center of your mat, feet just slightly apart. Moving into a practice called Tadasana. So feet are slightly apart. Hands are interlocked in front of the body. Find a point ahead of you that's stable, that's static. And then on the inhalation, you have the palms facing down. Raise the arms up above the head, and on the exhalation, the fingertips, the hands come to the crown of the head. The next time you inhale, raise the hands off the head, come up into the tiptoes, and then exhale, lowering back down. Up to 5 more rounds like this. Stretching throughout the whole body. Stretching from fingers to toes. And at any point you can hold the position for a deeper stretch throughout the whole body. Separating the feet now about hip width apart. Once again, raising the arms up above the head, palms facing upwards. As you inhale, raise the arms up. On the exhalation, coming over to the side. Inhale back to center. Exhale back over to the opposite side. Swaying palm tree pose. Up to 2 more rounds. When you've completed, release the arms down. Give the body a little bit of a shake if you need to. Take a moment to check in, to notice how the body feels. And moving into a practice called Kati Chakrasana, the waist rotating pose. So keep the feet about hip width apart, the toes just slightly turn inwards. Knees are slightly bent. And bring the arms out level with the shoulders. On the exhalation, turning towards the left side. The right arm wraps round. Inhale, come back to center. Arms out level with the shoulders, twisting to the opposite side. Coming back to center and continuing with this movement. So you can go at your own pace. You start at a reasonably slow pace and then begin to increase the pace of the movement. So you can be a little bit playful with this movement. It really helps to bring some heat into the body and at the same time keeping the awareness of the spine, the movement through the spine, through the waist. And then begin to slow this movement down. Come back to a central position, have the eyes closed. Just notice how you feel after that practice, physically, energetically. Just notice how the thoughts are coming and going. From this position, coming down now onto the mat into Shavasana. You may like to place a cushion or a blanket, folded blanket behind the head. Make sure that you'll be warm enough. Have the feet about hip width apart and allowing them to fall naturally to the sides. The arms are down by the side of the body. Consciously relaxing through the arms, the hands, the palms facing upwards, head and neck in line with the spine. Feeling the whole weight of the body against the floor. Being aware of all the different contact points. The heels, the buttocks, the shoulders, and the back of the head. Whole weight of the body against the floor. And with each exhalation, releasing, letting go that little bit more, knowing that the earth, the ground below is supporting you. Once again, connecting with the natural breath, allowing it to flow freely in and out of the body. Notice its rhythm. Whether it's fast or slow. Whether you're holding any tension in your breathing, or whether after this last 20 minutes of practice has enabled the breath to flow more freely. Begin to deepen your breath now. Feeling the weight of the coverings against the skin, the touch of air on exposed parts of the body. Being aware of your surroundings, the sounds around you. And start to bring some gentle movement into your fingers and to your toes. You may like to stretch the arms over the head or bring the knees in towards the chest, whatever the body feels it needs. And then in your own time, begin to make your way into a seated position. And bringing the hands back onto the knees or into your lap. We chant the mantra just once to close this session. Breathing in together.